Good morning, grinders. Welcome to DFS pregame show here on RotoGrinders. I'm Jordan Cooper, aka BlenderEd, Blender HD. If you want to follow me on Twitter, and it's Tuesday, July 26th. I almost forgot what month it is. We're in the middle of summer. Things are getting a bit boring. We still got baseball going on. Feel free to hit that thumbs up button on your way in the door. Helps us out. Give me those thummy thumbs. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Hit the notification bell to know when we go live. 13-game MLB slate today. They'll be going over that on Grinders Live later today, 5 o'clock Eastern, followed directly by Crunch Time. Kevin Roth give you the weather update, leading you up until lock. But today I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. Here. This is sparked by a conversation that we had in Discord. Okay, this was actually in the bat chat yesterday, last yesterday afternoon, something like that, about sites like Prize Picks. Okay, or there's other sites like that. You know, the prop based Underdog, I guess, the Monkey Knife Fight, those type Thrive maybe do stuff like this where it's essentially prop betting, but you have to like plug multiple. You have to parlay things together, and they give you lines, and you could win, whatever X times your money, depending on, if the player goes over or under their certain prop type of thing. Now, these types of sites are available in states that don't necessarily have legal sports betting because it's technically daily fantasy sports. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I think a lot of people don't understand like how to calculate the odds. Like, what are the odds of things happening, and what is the effect on parlaying them together when you get fixed odds? Okay, I'm not saying sites like this are bad. I'm just saying that finding plus EV situations on sites like this is tough. And it's not, we always talk about in DFS. DFS is not about predicting outcomes. It's about putting yourself in positive expected value situations by playing lineups that have a better shot at winning first place than the rest of the field, right? Is it going to happen? Did you play the Tigers against Manaya yesterday? No. Well, you didn't win first place. Did anyone score anything yesterday? Yesterday, I actually made money on lineups because I happen to have Merrill Kelly in my lineup, and even though they're like I had like Red Sox and Indians and Guardians in my lineup, no one scored over double digit yet. I still got like 3x on that lineup, right? Because just like I got 50 points from my pitchers, and then like kind of 30 points from my batters, and that was good enough, right? Because like no one scored well. The Dodgers failed, everything failed yesterday, but I made money on FanDuel. Lost a little on DraftKings, but overall came out a couple $100 ahead. But in the bat chat, people use Prize Picks, and especially because they will change the lines as the days go on. So obviously, getting in early, that's with any type of betting, right? Because the market's going to be much more efficient closer to game time than it is further away from game time as people place their bets and everything. But people play games like Prize Picks, and they try to play bottom up when you should be playing top down. Okay, what's the difference? What's the difference between bottom up versus top down? It's very similar to DFS. Okay, kind of similar to DFS, where if you're playing bottom up in DFS, you're essentially playing like, what do I think is going to happen? That's what you say. Okay, this batter's in a good spot. This pitcher's in a good spot. I'm going to roster them. But you're not considering the salary implications. You're not considering the ownership. You're not considering the construction. You're not considering the contest you're in. You're not considering the payout structure. You're not considering all those top level, those macro things about DFS as a game. So bottom up in DFS is, who do I think is going to do well? And can you have an edge in that? Of course you can. Of course you can. If you have a good projection model, you definitely could have an edge in it. But that's not the main part of the game. Prize Picks, stuff like this, is very similar, right? You could go through, here's like the strikeout props. Okay. And the whole goal is you have to pick 2, 3, 4, or 5 players. You can't just pick one. and bet on it, right? Because it's technically not sports betting. So essentially, you could pick, like, it's like, okay, Pablo Lopez, 5.5 strikeouts, over or under, right? There's no line on it. It's automatically over. You have to pick 2 of these, right? So it's like Pablo Lopez, Spencer Strider. If I think over this, under that, I get paid 20 to get paid out 60. I think one of the deceiving things about Prize Picks, it's not to win. It's actually to get paid. Okay, so you're really winning $40. Okay, so what are the odds of that? That's 2 to 1. Okay, you're betting 20 to win 40 and getting paid 60 in total, right? You're getting your $20 back also. Okay, but that's fixed. It's fixed no matter what. If you pick 3, if we put another NOLA in here, right? We do something like this, right? 20 to win. Oh, if you do a power play, right? Right, that's 5x. So it's 4 to 1 because you're getting paid 100. You're not winning 100. You're getting paid 100. Okay, but these are fixed odds. So this is how you should be thinking top down. And this is related to anything you think about. This is how you think about games in general, or the sports-based fantasy games, no matter what. So if we take out 1, let's do the easy one. So you must hit 2 out of 2 for 3x, which is really 2 to 1 because you're getting paid 3x. Just understand that, okay? So if these lines were efficient, okay, if the exact likelihood of 5.5 strikeouts was the 50th percentile outcome, like perfectly efficient, plus 100 in sports betting terms, right? It was exactly 50-50. No, so over happens 50% of the time, under happens 50% of the time. If this has a 50% chance of coming in either over or under, and this has 50% chance coming in over or under, what is the chance of you getting both of them right? Of one coming over, the other going over. So that's 25%. 25% is 3 to 1. Okay? Not paid out 3 to 1, right? Win 3 to 1. But they're only paying you 2 to 1. Okay? So if these were exact efficient markets, right, the expected value would be negative. Okay? So they're paying you. So for instance, we go to the odds value calculator at Action Network, which is a partner, Better Collective Property. So if we bet $100, right, on it could be just plus 100, right? The win probability is 50%. The expected value would be 0, right? If the win probability was 55%, the expected value would be $10, right? So if we're getting paid plus 200, right, on that bet, what's the win probability if the market was efficient? If it exactly 50-50, well, the win probability would be 25%. So if you bet $100, your expected value would be minus $25. 25%, your negative edge, if they were exactly efficient. Now, I'm not saying that these lines are efficient. I'm just saying if they were efficient, by making that parlay, that 2-leg parlay that pays plus 200, the win probability would be 25%, which means it would be minus 25% edge. Like that's how much edge. They're going to be taking 25% of your bets every time you do something like that, which is horrible, which is absolutely, they should be paying you 3 to 1. They're paying you 2 to 1. They're paying you plus 200 instead of plus 300. Now, what happens if the lines are not efficient? Okay. So the only way we could use the parlay calculator, right? If we had 2 bets and they were to be paid out at plus 200 in total, right? So if we're betting 100 and the odds were plus 100 and plus 100, exactly the way that they should be, you should be winning $300. So you put in 100 and you get paid out 400, right? So here, right, if I put in 100, I'm getting paid out 300, right? Which is $100 too little, right? You're losing 25%. But how inefficient do the lines have to be for you to break even. So now we're thinking top down. Okay, we're thinking completely top down. So what do these odds have to be where that should be the right way to pay it out? Okay, so let's say the odd, let's just for say, the line is off by a half a strikeout or something like that, or a little. So really, like over whatever should be minus 120. And what's minus 120? If we could put that into the odds calculator, right? So what is minus? We'll even put minus 125. Okay, make it easy, right? But minus 125 equals an implied odds of about 55%. Okay. So if you were a 55% favorite in that spot, and then you put them both together, right? Minus 125 and a minus 125, right? $100 pays out 324. Okay. No, we're still not at 300, right? So what do the lines have to be in order for you to correctly get paid out by Prize Picks? And it turns out it's about 137. About. We placed two minus 137 bets. We parlay them together. You get paid out 299.26. So it's like it's close. Like maybe we could get it even closer, like minus 137.2. Minus 137.2. That close? No, we have to go the other way. The other way. Sorry. Minus 136.8. Minus 136.8. And that gets a little bit closer, right? So around there, around 136, 137. So what is that in implied odds? Minus 137 equals 57.81. So basically, if the correct lines are about 7% off or so, right? Or 14% off. Or so, 15% off. 7.81 times 2. They're about 15% off. That would equal that one side of the line that it's off would be minus 137, and the other side of the line would be plus 137 because there's technically no hold on Prize Picks. There's no there's no different over and under don't have different money lines. So basically, you're looking for any line that is off by at least 15%. So if you can't find lines that are off by 15%, there's no way for you to plug two of them together and come out profitable. Now, even if you find two lines that are 15% off, plugging them together, you're like break even, right? So you need to find even more than that. Okay? So just understand, even if the line is off, right? So we're going to look. How do you know the line is off? Okay, well, a lot of people, especially in the back chat, use the bat statistical projections. Okay, so we see all the pitchers here, right? And there's actually a statistical projection for Ks. How many Ks, right? As a median. So this would be a 50th percentile outcome. And that's exactly what Prize Picks is showing, an over under, a 50th percentile line. So we could go here and go, okay, let's go through it. So we go to Bryce Wilson, 3.5. So we go find Bryce Wilson. Bryce Wilson is at 3.89. So his 50th percentile outcome is 3.89. What's 3.5? What percentile is that? Probably around maybe the 45th percentile. Okay? But it's not low enough. It's not 15 point less or more, right? Because it's 3.89 and the line is 3.5. A lot of people would look at 3.89 and go, okay, well, I'm going to take Bryce Wilson over as part of my prize pick type of thing. It's like, yes, the line, if you bet under, the under would be worse, right? If the bet says 3.89 and you're going by that as the 50 percentile outcome, betting under 3.5 would be like a plus 112 bet or something like that, like plus 112. And you're still, remember, on Prize Picks, you're getting paid 2-1 on a 2-leg parlay, regardless of what two things you choose. So it's not like a normal sports book where there's a money line, you plug them two together, and you just get the double, the odds times 2 of both bets. So betting under would be even worse. But betting over, do you have an edge? Sure, yeah, because 3.89 is what the bat says as a 50th percentile outcome. But it's still not enough to overcome the rake, overcome the hold, overcome whatever you want to call it. It's not really a hold. It's more like rake. Okay? So it's still not enough, right? The projection is not, the line is not as far off that even though it looks like a good bet, like you still need to find minus 137s or better. Okay? So now, can we find minus 137s or better? So we have Keegan Thompson at 4.5. We have, look, his median is 4.5, 4.52. So here, this would be a plus 100 or so bet, minus 100. Not worth playing. Pablo Lopez, 5.5. We go to Pablo Lopez, 5.26, right? We see right here, it's not off enough. We need to find bets. We need to find lines that are off by more than 15%. Okay? Spencer Strider. We'll skip the ones that are in the middle because then you have to make another calculation on a push. I don't know how PrizePicks deals with pushes, but Strider, 7.5. So let's take a look at 7.5 for Strider. 6.91. Okay, so it's off by 0.6. That's still not 15%, right? Even though, yes, the under should be priced. If it's 6.91, the under should be priced at like minus 122 or something like that. And the over it would be plus 122. So the over would be horrible, but the under would be minus 122. But I need minus 137, right? I need two minus 137s or better in order to overcome the fact that I'm only getting paid 2-1. So even though this looks like, oh, this should be an under, like it's more likely to happen, but 6.91 according to the bat is the 50th percentile outcome. So 7.5 is like the 55th percentile outcome. Not enough. You need to get past 57, 58th percentile in order to be profitable, have a plus EV 2-leg parlay on PrizePicks. So I'm going to go through even more. Let's see. Let's see what else is here. Nola, 7.5. Let's go to Nola. Nola, 7.7. So that's not off enough. McClanahan, 8. Even though we have to deal with pushes. McClanahan, 6.5. Okay, so that isn't bad at all. 6.5 Ks, according to the bat, is the 50th percentile. So it's 1.5 strikeouts compared to PrizePicks at 8.0. Okay, that's over 50%, 15%. Just over that, like 8.0, right? This under probably should be a minus 145 or something. Okay, so now we found something that's better than 137. Okay, now we could put it in. Even though like Strider's unders are in comparison, just you have to overcome the fact that you're only getting paid 2-1 instead of 3-1 on the double leg parlay. So now that we found one, okay, we found one, but we can't just bet that. If it was a normal sports book and Shane McClanahan was at plus 100 for the under on 8.0, you'd slam that, right? You'd bet until you get limited, right? The good thing about PrizePicks, you don't get limited, but you just have to find these bets. You have to find where it's off enough. Okay, that's the key. It's not where it's off. It's where it's off enough to overcome the rake. And it's not like DFS, calculating the rake in DFS, where it's like if it fills you 15% on a GPP, and you could be better than enough of the field that you could overcome a 15% rake. Here, mathematically, you can't, right? It's only going to pay you 2 picks at 2-1 when it should be paying 3-1, right? There's like a little math lesson here. Okay, I'm viewing this is like a betting 101 type of course, little course today. Well, because it was talked about in Discord. So let's can we find something else? Berrios, 5. Let's take a look at the bat. What does Berrios have? 5.22. No, that's not off enough. Let's see. Montgomery, 5. Montgomery, 4.79. Nope, not off enough. Taijuan Walker, 4.5. Let's see. Taijuan Walker, 4.8. No, not off enough. Clevenger, 5.5. Clevenger, where's Clevenger? 6. Close. I mean, you're not getting. It's not close. It's not enough. You're less than 15% off there. Let's take a look. Anything? Luis Garcia 6. Let's see. Luis Garcia 6. 5.87. So that's not good enough either. Carlos Rodon 7.5. Carlos Rodon 7.5. That would be a perfectly even. Completely even. Let's see. Kirby at 5. I'm using the ones that are higher in strikeouts first. Kirby at 5. Where's Kirby? 5.5. Okay, so that's off by like 11%. It's still not enough. Okay, so we're going Josiah Gray at 5. Let's see. Josiah Gray, 4.88. So that's still not good enough. Let's see. Can we find Hunter Green, 5.75? Hunter Green. What was Hunter Green? I saw him here. 6. Yeah, so that's not going to do. Keegan Thompson, 4.5. Let's see if we can find that. This is the point. You got to find them. Keegan Thompson, 4.5. That's not going to do. Right? Right. You could obviously go to other, like there's all these other things, like how many pitcher fantasy score, earned runs allowed. Like, it's not just strikeouts. I'm just showing you when it comes to strikeouts. Just this example. Dylan Bundy, 3.5. Let's see. Let's see what Dylan Bundy. 3.85. So that isn't even good. Palante, 2.81 over there. Let's see. Did they have Palante? Do they even have Palante? I don't even know. Look at the lowest ones. 3.0. So that's not good enough. Witkowski, 3. Let's take a look at the low ones. Witkowski, 3.42. That's not good enough. Is any of these? It's hard to find them. Let's see. Zerpa at 4. Mitch White at 3.7. Marquez 4.67. Do we have Marquez here? 4. That's 12% off or so. Kopech is 4. Like, I don't even know if we could find 3.79. Right, that's not off enough. Right, this is what you'd be doing on Prize Picks. Right, because you have to find lines that are not just off, but off enough to overcome the rake. I mean, we could go to other things also. I mean, we could go to let's see, total home runs. Well, now you have to calculate multiple things together. So let's see. Hits allowed, walks allowed. Okay, there's walks allowed. There's hits allowed. Because we even have that. We have hits allowed, right? We have a hits column. Right? Hits, right. We have a hits column in the bat. We could go see. Let's see. Hits 6.48 for Marquez. Let's see what's Marquez's. So let's see. Where can we find Marquez? 6. So that's still not enough, right? 6.48 is in the bat. So this is what you'd be doing if you wouldn't play Prize Picks. Is it off enough? Because you could find, like we mentioned, it's like, 6.48 for Marquez, right? For hits in the bat. This is, I'm just going to go over, right? Oh, that's easy. It's off by a half a point. Yeah, but a half a point is not more than 15% off. So the combination of this two, right? This would be very similar. This McClanahan line is more like a minus 145 line. Okay? So if we go back into the parlay calculator, right? We do about a minus 145 line. Bet about 100, right? Just make it easy. 145 line. But this Marquez line, right, is off by what? 9% or something like that? Right? There's like minus 118 or something, right? So this line, we put it into the calculator, minus 118, and we add that bet, right? Payout, 312.16. Should be. Okay, so this actually would be a little bit profitable because the McClanahan line is off enough, right? So 100 to win 300. So yeah, let's put that together because the McClanahan one is off enough to make up for German Marquez not being off enough. Okay, so 100 to 300. Based on the lines that they should be, you should be getting paid 312. Yeah, okay, so it's not good enough. Right? You should be getting paid 312, but you're getting paid 300. So actually a negative $12. Well, actually negative what? For every $100? So you're the negative $4 on a bet, minus 4% or so. right? That's still not profitable. So you have to find a bet that's better than minus 118. So you need to, in order to break even, you'd have to find a bet that's what, like 122 or so? Yes. No, even better than that. Even minus 130. Let's see. Yeah, at least like minus 129, right? So that's what you'd be looking for on Prize Picks, right? So this is the key. This is the key. Understand? I'm trying to teach you, right? How to find, like, it's not just finding lines that are off. It's not predicting outcomes either, right? I'm not like, oh, I think this is what's going to happen. No, I'm just looking at a projection model. You could go to scoresandodds.com and see our RotoGrinders projections in here, right? You could see, you could go down and view this instead of the bat, right? Here's strikeout props. We have home run props or earned runs allowed, right? So you could go through all of Prize Picks and find the lines that are the most off, but they have to be off by at least 15% in order to make up the fixed rate. Now, let's say people do the 3-pick ones. Okay? So let's go back to the parlay calculator, right? So the 3-pick ones, we put them in, they pay 5x. So let's just put random ones in. It doesn't matter. Right? Right? So 3 picks, and it's a power play. Right? So 100 pays 500. Pays out 500. So we go to the parlay calculator, right? Bet amount 100 minus 137 plus another 137, another minus 137 gives you a 517, right? So it's close. So you would have to find it's not going to change that dramatically. Right? Should pay a 517, but it doesn't. So like they're more like minus 130. They just round up there. So obviously like minus 136, minus 136, minus 136. Oh, we have to go the other way. I'm sorry. 138. 138. Minus 138. So you're still finding around the same range. Minus 138. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't know the exact number. I'm just trying to show you in a parlay calculator rather than show you like math. So here are little tools that you could use. You go to Action Network. You could go to the betting calculators and you'd use all of these. I want to show you it's more simple using something like this than I'll do it in Excel or do it have a math formula for you. So you're still trying even the 3-pick ones that pay out 5x, which is really 4-1. You still have to find like 3 bets that are minus 137 or better. Another way you could find bets that are minus 137 or better is actually just compare them to the actual sportsbook lines if they're similar. So for instance, let's take a look at a line that's not even. So let's take a look at this is hits allowed. Let's go to strikeouts. Okay. So I'm going to Spencer Strider. So let's take a look at Spencer Strider, 7.5. Okay. So we can go to scores and odds and look here. We have our RotoGrinders projections have him at 8.6. Okay. So Prize Picks, remember, Prize Picks is essentially paying this out at plus 100. Okay. Is viewing this as a plus, what's 7.5? Okay. A DraftKings minus 105 is the over. Minus 125 is the under, right? Here's the over. The over is minus 129. It's minus 125, right? So really, these aren't plus 100s, right? These are anywhere from minus 105 to minus 129, but it's not minus 137, right? Is any of these, we have the over-unders on all these books. So let's just say you think these books are efficient. None of these bets are minus 137 or better, or minus 1 foot. You'd have to look at minus 140s, right? You can't just bet on 7.5 strikeouts. You have to put 2 of them together, and you're getting fixed odds of 2-1. That's the key for today. That's why I just wanted to highlight that for today, because it was a conversation. Because people talk, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't play on Prize Picks. You can find, if you want to make beer money on Prize Picks, easy. Absolutely easy. Sign up for Prize Picks. Use the promo code Grinders. Get a $100 match bonus, right? Use the promos that they give you. Get up early in the day, right? Get up early in the morning, go through all of the baseball. I mean, obviously they have all these other sports and everything. And go through and sign up for RotoGrinders, get our projections, right? And just go through and go, are there any lines that are significantly off? And they have to be at least minus 137 or plus 137, whatever it is, either way, off. And then go, okay, I found two, and plug two together, and there you go. Right? You may only have an expected value at 2%, right? But it's still a profitable bet in the long run. You're putting down $20, $25, right? If let's say you have an expected value of 2% on $100, that's $2 expected ROI, right? So understand, we're not talking about a lot of money. We're not talking about a lot of money here, okay? And I don't think they let you put down $10,000 on anything. So, like, I don't know how much real money you can make like that, but you can see the perils on Prize Picks that if you're not careful enough, you're making you're oh, I want Bryce Wilson unders and Spencer and Aaron Nola unders, and don't realize that anywhere else these two bets are like plus 120s, right? It's still going to pay you, right? Imagine these both were plus 120s, right? And we parlayed the plus 120s together. Like, technically, you should be getting paid. You should be getting paid $484. You're only getting $300 on a $100 bet. So you know how much difference? That's $184 difference. That's like 50. That's a 50%. That's like 50% edge for Prize Picks. You're like giving away 50% of your money, right? So it's very easy if you're the type of person that's like bottom up without projections and going, what I think's going to happen, let me pick two. You can see how Prize Picks makes a lot of money. Okay, my job is to teach you how to not give the money to them and make the money for yourself, even if it's a small edge, even if it's just something you want to do for entertainment. It's like, oh, I just wake up, spend a half an hour, go through the line, see which ones are the most off, pair some of them together. You have $10 here, $10 there, whatever, and then you have something to root for tonight. You could absolutely do that, and you could do it without losing money. You could do it while having a very small edge, or at least having the smallest like negative EV, right? The most bang for your buck. Too many people are concerned about, okay, what do I pick on Prize Pick? Oh, as long as I have two things that I like, go for it. It's like, no, that you have to like them enough that it's minus 130. That it's a implied probability of 56%, 57%, as opposed to 50%. DFIC asks, when they give you bonus bets for signing up, should you take a 2-to-1 or max out with a 5-way? It doesn't matter. Treat it as you would any other type of money. That's I mean, mathematically it shouldn't matter, right? And unless there's some type of terms, I don't know. Is there a terms that do they take away some money if you win? If you like, I don't know. I don't know if there's any terms, but if they're just giving you like here's basically free money for you to play with, they obviously can't withdraw. You have to put it on something. Like obviously putting it on the highest expected value thing you could find. It doesn't matter what it is. So you calculate the expected value and go, if you could find a 5-way, right? I don't what are the odds that you have to do for a 5-way? I didn't even look at that. Let's see. Let me put this together. I've not played on Prize Picks ever, right? I just signed up yesterday just to look at it because people were talking about it. Only because I looked at Prize Picks a year ago and I knew that, like, yeah, if you could find lines that are that far off, you could make some beer money, but is it worth the time? Like, I'm not sure if it's worth the time for me. That I could end up putting down $2,000 worth of Prize Picks, right, on different stuff for an expected return of like 1.5%, right? So like even 2% at $2,000 is what, $40? I have a bigger edge in DFS, so why wouldn't I be spending the $2,000 playing DFS contests? Like that's the consideration. So let's say you put in 5, right? If you put in 5, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you get paid out? for 5. Just put them all like this. You get paid. Oh God, that's probably horrible. Oh, this is it's a flex play. So you have to calculate this a little bit differently. 3 correct pays this. Yeah, it's a little bit more advanced of a calculation because you still get paid on a 3 out of 5. So you have to calculate the permutations as well. Yeah, I can't. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, here's a pow. Okay, a 4. Yeah, it's right. 10x. Right. You get all 4. Right. That's 10 to 1. That's 9 to 1. They pay you 10 to 1. So imagine if we let's go back to the parlay calculator and take a look. Minus 137. Let's put in those minus 137 bets. So 4-way at minus 137. 4 minus 137 bets should pay out about $900. Right? Actually, they pay out. So actually, if you could find, you actually could be a little bit more off on the 5-way bets, right? Because this number should be 1,000. So actually, let's say minus 132s, minus 132, minus 132, minus 132. But that's closer. Maybe minus 130. Actually, if you're putting 4 of them together, you could kind of shave off a little bit if you could find 4 of them together. Obviously, the break-even point. Yeah, it's about minus 128 or so. Right? So let's go to minus 128 is what? Minus is 56%. So you're shaving off about 2 percentage points. Right? So instead of finding a bet that is 15% off, you're trying to find a line that is 12% off. They give you a little discount there. So if you could happen to find 4 of them that are at least 12% off, then putting 4 of them together would be the break-even point. But that's the key. Like that's if you're going to get anything out of today, is what are the implied odds of the thing happening, and what are they paying you out? That is the ultimate fundamental concept in sports betting. It's not I think the Mets are going to win today. It's like, well, should the Mets be a minus 132 favorite, or they should be the minus 118 favorite? Yeah, but I think the Mets are going to win. Yeah, but you want to get paid out higher than the probability of it happening, based on what you think the probability is. It's not just binary. If they win or they don't win, there's a probability attached to it. Very similar to DFS when we deal with projections, right? Projections, these are 50th percentile outcomes. Do I think German Marquez, if I look here, do I think Aronola, 7.7 Ks, according to the bat? Doesn't say that he's going to throw 7 or 8 strikeouts. It's like that's the 50th percentile outcome. If he throws 10 Ks, that's like a 65th percentile outcome, right? If he throws only 4 Ks, that's like a 30th percentile outcome, right? All it's doing is just showing you the middle of the entire range of outcomes, which is typically somewhere close to a normal distribution. It obviously depends on the sport and the type of player it is. But that's how you have to think of things like that. So if we have a normal distribution in the middle is 7.7, you need to find a line that is off so that you get to the 56th percentile, right? That's what you're looking for, the implied odds. You want the odds of it happening being, 50 more than 56% of the time. Well, actually, minus 137 would be 57.81% of the time. That's the fundamentals of how you would play on Prize Picks or on any of these types of sites. So you could look through all of these things, right? You could look and you go, okay, whatever. Home runs, we have home runs here. Total home runs between multiple people, right? Now, how would you calculate this? Now, here's one. How would you calculate this? Okay, Acuna plus Olsen plus Riley. Total home runs. Basically, is any of these batters going to hit a home run? Okay? How would you calculate what the odds of this happening being? Okay? Well, you could do it 2 ways. You could use the efficient market hypothesis by looking at the player props, right? So if we take a look at, for instance, home run props, and let's take a look, and I may have to use the search function because there's a lot of people here. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the Braves, right? That first one, Acuna, Olsen, Riley. Okay, so let's find Acuna. Okay, the best odd, let's use the best line right now. Plus 310. Let me write that down. Plus 310. Okay. Plus 310. Then we have Riley. Plus 360 is the best line available. And then we have what? Olsen. Plus 330. Okay. So what are the probabilities of those? Okay. So the probabilities, we go to the betting odds converter, right? Let's see, or the odds value calculator. Okay, odds converter. Let's go to the odds converter on Action Network. Okay. So we're going to put in 310. What's 310? Implied odds is 24.39%. Okay. So let me bring up another type of calculator. So we're going to go 24.39, 39%. Then plus 360 is what? 21.74%. Plus 330, 23.26%. Okay. Now I'm going to bring up at least one probability calculator, OmniCalc, right? Instead of doing it by a math formula. Okay. So here's the probability of 3 events calculator. So we're going to put in the probability of the first one based on the lines, just based on the lines. 24.39, 21.74, and then 23.26. Okay. At least one occurring, because all we need is one. Remember, this is just total home runs over a half, over or under a half. So based on the best available prop betting lines today that are current, this has a 54.59% chance of happening, of at least one, right? You don't care about exactly one. You just need one of them to hit a home run. So we take 54.59, and what is the implied probability of that, right? That's minus 120. That's a minus 120 bet. So obviously, since it's not minus 137, right? We need to find ones that are over 57%. That this is not based on the best available prop lines. This is not good. This would not be good to bet on, not to be put in based on that. Or we could do it a different way. Instead of going based on the scores and odds lines, we could just go to the bat and go like based on, we go to the hitters. And we're going to treat, even though it's not this is blunt, we're going to treat the home run column as a percentage. Okay, so here's the home run column. We're going to put in Acuna, home run, 22%. 22%. We're going to put in Riley, 20%. And we're going to put in Olsen. Goes, come on. It's a little slow. Olsen, 21%. So actually, it's actually worse than the betting lines. So we could put those in. So based on the bat, we have 22, 20, and 21. At least one occurring, 50.7%. It's not 50. We're not up to 57, right? Right. So pricing this prize pick here is not worth it to play. Right. Even though it's slightly over. If you had a side, over is better than under, but over here based on the bat would be like a minus 104 bet, right? Something like that. Based on the other lines around that's available to you, BetMGM or whoever is available, it would be like a minus 120. But remember, you have to find minus 137s, right? In order for it to be worth it, since you're getting a fixed odds payout. And you could do that with all these. You could do Hoskins, Schwarber, Castellano. You could. I'm showing you the manual way. You could even, download some of this stuff, right? You could scrape some of this stuff, download. You could put it into Excel spreadsheets. You could do whatever you want, but that's essential. That's how you play these games, right? So if it's especially like if you watch Grant on Live Locks on the Scores and Odds channel, like how do you pick the bet? Like this is how you do it, right? Same thing for a sports book, right? If you put you look at and you go, oh, the bat has Acuna at right, like bat has Acuna at 22%, right? So if we say the bat has Acuna at 22%, that means the efficient line for Acuna on home runs should be plus 354. So now we go to Acuna. Let's find him. Find Acuna. Okay, there we go. The efficient line, it should be plus 354, according to the bat. They're not paying you 354. They're paying you plus 310. So it'd be a bad bet to bet plus 310 when it should be plus 354. Right? It even shows here, right? Even the RotoGrinders projection has it at plus 324, but you're only getting paid plus 310. So it's a negative expected value bet. Same thing. I mean, you're doing the same thing in sports betting, right? That's exactly what you're doing. You just have to realize that on a site like Prize Picks, you're not really sports betting. You're being forced into parlays, which means the lines in a fixed odds parlay, nonetheless. It's not like on a normal sports book, you could parlay like plus 310 for Acuna and plus 310 for Wisdom and get what plus 310 and plus what 310 would be, right? You'd get the actual, right? Imagine doing 2 plus 310s, right? Let's do that. Let's put that in the parlay calculator, right? If you had 2 plus 310s, right? If it were 2 plus 310s, it should be paying you $16.81. The Prize Picks is going to give you $200. And that's the main reason why they don't have home runs. That's why they pool the home runs together. They're trying to make as many like 50th percentile type of lines as possible. That there aren't, because it's only a fixed odds parlay. So there's a little primer. I wanted to show today. I mean, that's sort of from Tuesday to Thursday. What are we talking about? Right? We have a 13-game MLB slate tonight. We have no lineups or anything. People aren't really asking questions in the chat. So why not go through? I mean, this is according to the law, this is daily fantasy sports also. So throw it in. So if you're gonna use Prize Picks, use the promo code Grinders. Right? It helps us out, I guess. Right? Doesn't help me out. Right? I don't get the referral fee or anything like that, but we do here at RotoGrinders. And if you want the bat projections, obviously you could sign up for the bat at RotoGrinders. Lineup HU, the RotoGrinders projections. Click on that link in the description. Get $10 off your first month. Give me the thummy thumbs on your way out the door. Give me the thummy thumbs. Thummy thumbs. Hit the subscribe button also. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to know when we go live. Got tons of shows always on YouTube. 5 o'clock is Grinders Live. That leads right into about 6:20, 6:30 is crunch time. 13-game slate. We got like 2 or 3 weather spots possible tonight to on the lookout for, and they'll help you through all of that. I hope you enjoyed the little primer on. I mean, this is like sports betting 101. This is just like how to think top down, like on sports betting, on parlays, on Prize Picks, on any of those types of sites. How off do the lines need to be, right, for it to be profitable? And what's the math? Like very simple math. Look, I wasn't doing formulas. I was using tools that are available, right? Just use any betting calculator. There is a formula behind it, but it's so much easier to just like, okay, I just type it in. So let's see, right? Yeah, we have some calculators over at scoresandodds.com. You could obviously compare all the lines there and find the best line. I'll always line shop. Always get the best line, right? That doesn't seem like a lot. Oh, minus 110 versus minus 115. What's the big deal? Well, it's 5 cents. It's like not an actual nickel, but 5 cents. Like imagine you betting 1,000 bets over the course of the year and 5 cents here and there. That could be the difference of a couple of $100 for you, right? So why wouldn't you, right? It's not coupon clicking. It's smart, especially when the margins on sports betting is so small that you'll take any edge that you could possibly get there. So always be line shopping as well. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you have any other questions about this, feel free to post them in the Discord if you're a premium member in the Blenders Game Theory channel. Join the Bat channel if you're a Bat member. Or just ask them tomorrow. I'm here every day, right? You could ask me anything you want about anything, because I answer all your DFS strategy questions. I always do, Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern, on the DFS pregame show on RotoGrinders.com.